My ex-wife and I divorced almost 2 years ago and don't cooperate great, mostly just try to ignore one another unless necessary for us to interact. Not mature, I know, but my attempts to change that were not met kindly. We have 3 children together and the youngest, Evan, 8, has been struggling the most with the divorce. The past few months he's been having meltdowns when he doesn't get his way, if we go to a restaurant he likes, but that one of his brothers picked, or if he is made to clean his room instead of playing video games. He would yell that we're all mean, he doesn't like us, and call his mom to come to get him. She does, and then an hour or so later he gets dropped back off. I've asked her to not come to get him, that it's my parenting time, and he has to learn that he can't run away whenever he doesn't get his way, but she basically told me to shut up. So I picked the kids up Friday and told Evan that if he called his mom to come to get him, that he had to stay with her all weekend and I would see him again the next day I had custody. I have him 2 days a week and 3 weekends a month. He got mad Saturday morning over multiple things and called his mom to come to get him. When she showed up, I reiterated the new rule to him and told her that if she took him, she was keeping him all weekend. She basically blew me off and they left. A couple of hours later when I was out with the other 2, she called to see where I was because Evan had cooled down and was ready to come back and she had things to do. I reminded her that I told both of them if he left that he was with her all weekend. She blew up my phone all day angry because she had plans and couldn't find a sitter. Evan called upset a couple of times, but I held my ground. He called Sunday and was apologetic and asked if he could come to church with us and I told him yes and kept him the rest of the day and he has much better behaved. My ex says I am an idiot, which I'm used to, but then when I told my mom and sister, they also said I was too harsh and should have let him come back Saturday and I find a different way to handle the behavior issues. I was feeling pretty proud of myself until I talked to them. Should I drop this new rule or just ignore their opinion? Update: wow, thanks for all the responses. I got a lot of really good advice and things to think about. I have made an appointment with my attorney to discuss getting Evan into therapy that she cannot interfere with and also to find out my best course of action for when if she shows up in the future. Wanted to jump on and answer a couple of questions, though. A lot of people asked how Evan was contacting his mom. She got him a phone for Christmas. He is not supposed to bring it to my house because I once took it away when he and his brothers were bickering all day. They all got their phones taken away. Evan told his mom and she told me I had no right to take his phone away since she paid for it. So I told her that the phone stays at her house when he is with me, but half the time he hides it and I don't know he has it. He will also text her by getting one of his brother's phones. Once he even went into my office and FaceTimed her on my iPad. I usually don't know he's doing this because the things he decides he is going to call her about are random and often benign. Once, he called her because he didn't want to go to Lowe's. He whined about going. I told him he couldn't stay home by himself, so he had to go and proceeded to finish cleaning up the kitchen. Less than 10 minutes later, and his mom is at the door to get him. He hadn't thrown a tantrum or anything, just normal whining that my other boys did at that age. Later that afternoon when all the boring errands were done and I was about to take the older boys to a movie, he got dropped back off. Mostly when he calls her, he is not emotional and crying, he just isn't getting his way and is frustrated. The older 2 got the same way at his age. Heck, they get frustrated now if they are told no, but they didn't have the option at his age to have someone come get them, so they go their way. Not the idiot. Under the current circumstances, I believe you're doing your best and that this stance is probably the most reasonable given the lack of co-parenting happening. Do I have to wonder what she'd do if you were to swoop in every time she tried to discipline him? It's extremely unreasonable for her to interfere with your reasonable rules in your separate home. Maybe attempting to have a discussion again with her now that her actions have backfired on her could prove more fruitful. Maybe the opposite, but it could be worth trying. I hope things get better for you all soon. Not the idiot. I don't know, maybe you should find a better way of communicating with the ex, but at the end of the day, the kids suffer most from a divorce. Try and have a bit more sympathy with your kid. I get you tried to find an effective punishment to counteract his behavior, but yeah, find another way. You said yourself he's exhibiting this bad behavior over the past few months. Talk to him about what's been going on and what's up with him. You're the idiot. Your son is 8 years old. You're an idiot for not letting an 8-year-old come home. Your ex is an idiot too for contributing to this stupid scenario. I would strongly suggest you both sign up for parenting classes and family therapy so that the two of you can be hopefully taught how to be adults and stop expecting a damn 8-year-old to be the grown-up. It's not about your feelings or your ex's, it's about how not to screw up your child any worse than the two of you already have. Your child didn't divorce anyone. You and your ex did. Fix your attitudes. This has actually been ongoing for about 6 months now. About 6 months ago my daughter, 25, called me asking for money to pay off her credit card debt. This isn't the first time she's asked for money, and given she's an adult now with a child that depends on her, I decided to stop enabling her crappy financial decisions. I refused and instead offered to get her extra work at my friend's business to pay it off. She got angry at this and basically said, if I don't help support her, she wouldn't let me see my grandson. She reasoned that a good granddad wouldn't leave the mother of his grandson in financial ruin. I'm not going to be bullied by my own daughter, so I asked her if she was serious. She said she was. I then told her to call me when she's grown up and ready to act like an adult. That was 6 months ago. Given it's been half a year and I haven't seen my grandson, I'm having doubts about whether I'm in the right here. I have 6 other grandkids that I see regularly, but they obviously don't replace the one I've lost. Asking am I an idiot to judge whether I should cave? Not interested in relationship advice with my daughter. I know my daughter well enough to know she wouldn't accept a compromise here. Not the idiot. Your daughter is using extortion and manipulation and denying her own child a relationship with a loving grandparent due to her own immaturity and selfishness. She's a terrible daughter and a terrible mom. You say this wasn't the first time she's asked for money to pay off her irresponsibly acquired debts, and if you cave now it won't be the last, and she will learn that she can continue to use the kid as a hostage and a weapon against you. How many times are you prepared to go through the same charade? You even offered her a chance to work off her debt, but no. She wants a handout. Not the idiot. You're not choosing money over your grandson. You're choosing to not be extorted and manipulated by your daughter. If you do wish to have a relationship with your grandson, I'd continue to reach out to your daughter and cut the conversation if and when she brings up money issues. Otherwise, I'd continue to cherish the other grandkids in the meantime while hoping the daughter wises up. A relationship between a grandparent and grandchild is amazing. It's very sad your daughter is treating it this way. Not the idiot. It's not really about the money, is it? It's about choosing not to just be a doormat and let your childish daughter manipulate you into doing whatever she wants. Pity that it's costing you a relationship with your grandson, but your alternative is not give her the money, because we all know she won't stop with just this. If leaving the mother of your grandson in financial ruin was really her issue, then taking the work you offered to get her would better support that anyway, as her having more stability of her own would obviously be more beneficial for the kid than her constantly needing handouts. I'm in a long-term relationship, and it has gradually shifted towards me paying for all of the bills of the household for both of us. I keep pushing for my partner to contribute to bills, even though I make significantly more than she does. She has pushed back due to the difference in our incomes. Before any gold digger comments pop up, this is an income I started making after we had dated for some time. She is not that type of person. In terms of income, I make about $7,500 per month after taxes, and she makes about $1,500 per month. Our bills together come out to about $2,500 or $3,000 per month. We live near a high-cost major city. In recent months I've been pushing for her to contribute $300 per month of her income towards our household expenses. She takes jobs that offer about 20-30 hours a week and works for a few months, gets bored, then hops to another job. I want her to be happy, and I know she is exploring things she may want to get further into, so I don't make too much fuss about it. She is also trying to save for a real estate training program she wants to do, but has done several other programs for different careers and dropped out. In terms of housework, we split everything equally. We take turns with dishes, laundry, etc. I'm not sure if I'm an idiot for pushing for her to pay $300 per month when I make so much more than she does. After paying the bills, I still have $5,000 per month left over, mostly saved towards a house down payment, which is still triple her total income. For me, it's not so much about the money, but more so feeling like she is also helping to contribute in some way. At the same time, I feel like an idiot when there is such a huge gap in our income. Not the idiot. The difference between your incomes does not entitle her to a free ride. Couples should be splitting the cost of housing and utilities pretty evenly. What you could do, since you have more disposable income, is pay for dinners out or vacations. I'd bet that you have worked hard to get the job that pays so well, and you're entitled to that money. Please tell me that your savings from your hard work are going into a bank account that she does not have access to. Not the idiot, but you're kind of being petty. I make 10x what my girlfriend makes. I wouldn't make her pay anything. I figure her money is her spending money. That $300 is pretty meaningless to you. I'm actually surprised you won't pay for her real estate school. Because if you're saving up for a house, she can save you a lot in commission. I did that for my ex. If you're planning on buying a $500k house, then that's a $15k commission she can save you as a couple. Make her a deal that you pay for her school and in return, she rebates you the commission on the house you buy. No idiots here, especially if you aren't married. If you aren't married, you have no obligation to contribute more than 50% arguably, but you're being very generous and sensible by only asking for $300. Most people would ask for her to contribute at least 50% of her income. In all reality, if she was renting on her own, her bills would be gobbling up her income really quickly. You are still leaving her with $1,200 per month to spend, and that's way more than a lot of people get to spend. You're also not demanding to live in a really expensive apartment, and you're saving instead of rubbing it in her face. My wife and I have been together since college. She died a couple of years ago fighting breast cancer. It was really soul-crushing. Feels like a part of me is still missing. But my wife used to give me lots of advice about raising my daughter. I'm from Mexico and I grew up in an Orthodox family. So I had little knowledge about all the girls' stuff. I hope you guys get the point. But I've learned everything because I'm the only person our daughter has. I love her and she is the only person who keeps me running. My wife has a best friend. Let's call her Sarah. Now Sarah was with my wife since childhood. They were really close and her death shook Sarah. Before passing, my wife casually told Sarah that I didn't know much about raising a girl and she was worried about me and our daughter. Now Sarah thinks it's her responsibility to raise my daughter. She gives me unsolicited advice, which seems condescending, buys my daughter gifts, and she recently asked me if I could let her watch my daughter when I'm at work. I make more than enough and I can totally afford daycare and a sitter if necessary. And I think interacting with other kids is important. She keeps telling me that my daughter needs someone around to assess her trauma. I think that's our therapist's job and not hers. Also, she gives me the feeling that I'm somehow being neglectful. My daughter and I are really close. Now, she asks me if we can have Sarah over and make her mommy. I think this woman is crossing every boundary and it's time to tell her off. In my opinion, it's causing serious issues for me. Not the idiot. I understand Sarah is trying to keep a promise to her friend, but she is not the girl's mother. You are taking care of your daughter's emotional and social needs already. You can tell Sarah that you will ask for advice when you need it. No matter how much she offers advice unsolicited, just keep ignoring her or saying no. Hopefully, she will get the message. So sorry for the loss of your wife. You sound like a really good dad. Not the idiot. This woman's behavior is approaching dangerous. She is not your daughter's mother, nor her therapist, and it is time you limited her influence on your lives. In my opinion, making you feel like a neglectful parent, wanting to keep your daughter out of social environments, inserting herself into your daughter's psychological care, and wanting to be called mommy are very concerning behaviors. As a mother, this is one red flag after another to me. I feel like she is trying to take your daughter. No idiots here. You're extremely fortunate to have someone care that much about your daughter out of her duty and loyalty to your wife. If you feel like she is condescending when giving unsolicited advice, just tell her that's how it makes you feel. And someone that obviously loves and cares for your daughter very deeply, wanting to be a mother figure, again out of duty and loyalty to your wife, that is really special. Sounds like you're trying to throw away something that could be very beneficial to your daughters and your life. Don't throw it away. My sister started dating this guy 2 years ago. Everything was fine until last week. Now a few dates and Tom tells her that he is a father to a boy and a girl and that he has custody of them every third weekend and whenever he wants during the holidays. Terry was okay with this surprisingly, as she is sub-bed to heaps of child-free pages. Last week I found out that they wanted to move in together. He was looking for 2-bed places, so the kids have a room. I thought that she would be fine with this, turns out she is not. She complained to me a few days back that she hated that the kids had to tag along and that she hopes he loses custody of them so they can have more one-on-one time. I asked her if she was joking and she replied, "No, why would I want stupid goblins living with me?" I then repeated, "So it's a joke, right?" And she said no. So I asked her why she is moving in with someone who has kids, and her response was, "He is hot." I told her that she should break up with him if she hates the kids so much as they are a package deal, and she got mad at me and left. I then got a message where she sent me a photo of some smoke in the caption, "Custody no more. He has monthly tests." I automatically called him and let him know and provided proof with the photo. Tori is now a single woman and is very angry at me. My mum has also taken her side and now I'm regretting it. Not the idiot. She was dramatically misrepresenting herself and her feelings, and she demonstrably, massively injured her partner. Horrific, selfish behavior on her part and absolutely no excuse for it. Her desire to be child-free is 100% valid, and her business, her hurtful, manipulative, selfish, and maybe even illegal behavior was definitely bad enough that defending the innocent party, the dad and his kids, massively outweighs any sisterly loyalty you might be worried about. Honestly, this is one of the most garbage things I can imagine doing to someone she presumably claimed to love. Not the idiot, your sister was being a manipulative child. He would have never forgiven her for losing custody of his children, and it would have ended much worse. Hopefully, she will learn the kids are a package deal, and interfering with that is extremely selfish. They were a part of his life before she was, and she needs to either accept that or find someone else who doesn't have kids. She sounds really shallow for wanting to be with him based on his looks alone and disregarding everything else. Not the idiot. As a child-free person myself, thank you for saving him from her. I always hate seeing posts about child-free people dating someone with children and then asking if they are a bad person for not wanting to be around the kids or have anything to do with them, especially in a potentially serious relationship. Your sister and mom are the idiots, and honestly, your mom should probably get both sides of the story before defending anyone.